bringing you the latest news, game updates, insights, highlights, and everything Liberty Hockey. This is Rock the Rink, where Liberty Hockey lives.
We are back on the Rock the Rink podcast here on the campus of Liberty University. Guys, new set. Vibes are extremely high right now.
That's
Not
right.
only because of the look, but we also had our first overtime hockey at the LaHaye Ice Center this past weekend.
Too soon for that, too.
Too soon. Hearts were pumping. It was a little wild, but came away with 2 home wins out of it, guys. So we're going to get to all of that. Our Women's Division II team as well had a great road trip down south. Justin Forth, yeah, he's going to get into that. But guys, before we dive on in, this podcast is brought to you by the Virginia Army National Guard. The next greatest generation is now, and it begins with you. Get a head start on your career in exciting fields like science, communications, engineering, and medicine, along with tuition assistance in the Virginia National Guard. To learn more about the Virginia Army National Guard, check out Join VA Guard on Facebook and Instagram, or email us at nationalguard@liberty.edu. That's nationalguard@liberty.edu. All right, guys, so this NC State Liberty series, a lot different than what we've seen in the past. Saturday, the palms were a little bit sweaty. You know, stress was at an all-time high. And even on Friday, NC State scores the first goal. You're kind of like, man, this is very different. And I think the biggest takeaway that I gathered from that series was they've done such a good job in year one of jumping up to an ACHA Division I program. They look like in the next year or two, they can be a top 25 team competing for a top spot at nationals even.
Yeah, I mean, I think, honestly, the way Roberts played, like, that's the cornerstone, right, that you want for this team. And, like, you hopefully are going to have him for 3 years with that 5th-year exception in there, too. But, like, I mean, honestly, the way Coach Ely talked, I know we were on that call with him before Saturday's game. I feel like they could be a top 25 this year. Like, they definitely on the back of Roberts could be a team that wins the ACCHL, and I can't remember if they have an auto bid to start in their inaugural season at D1, but yeah, like they definitely have a lot to be excited about if you're a fan of the Ice Pack.
Well, especially depending on how they do in the next couple weekends, like that first ranking is going to be great for them because you're taking a number 4 team, right, at Liberty to overtime and losing by 2, so that looks really good on the record.
Sorry, I'm just looking at their schedule right here to see some of the top teams that they might be able to play to kind of bump up.
Elevate them.
They'll have a ways to go until they eventually get to Mary in the spring semester. They're heading out to Bismarck. So
they have Jamestown, right?
They do after, yeah. So I think they're going to head to North Dakota in January there. Oh, the 3rd and 4th. That's rough.
Yeah.
That's coming back early.
That'll be interesting to see how they progress then as a program too, right? Like, because you just talked about it, like they're probably their next official real ranked team won't be until then. So, because I know Delaware's in that conference in Pitt. Are they on the schedule in the fall, Kerr?
I don't see Delaware yet.
Yeah, or Stony Brook?
No, okay. I think they're loading up their spring semester with games.
Right.
So they'll play Delaware end of January. I don't see Stony Brook on here. But those games could yet to be scheduled.
Right.
No, they're playing Delaware, in October 4th and 5th.
So they've got some time to build towards that, and like that'll be another official test for them. Like, obviously, I'm sure they know some of the other rivalries that they have coming up with UNC. They'll play multiple times this year. Louisville, I believe Kentucky's on their schedule too. So, like, obviously, there's a lot of good games for them to come in. But yeah, I mean, Delaware, a team that's been to nationals the last couple of seasons, 2 years ago made it to the quarters in upset fashion, which pretty shocked everyone. The way they were able to just continue on their rise. So, like, yeah, I mean, again, a lot for this Ice Pack team to be excited about in year one at D1.
For sure. And you set it up well, Annie. When I was watching Friday's game, what was going through my mind is like, all right, hockey in the South has arrived. Like, we have another team, another school in North Carolina now, just below Virginia, that's producing a quality team that, I mean, as we've just discussed, they're heading on that trajectory of being a top 25, top 20 team. Even if it doesn't come this year, with the group of talent that they have, the local talent as well, who knows where they could be on the back of Roberts and net, Coach Healy behind the bench. we'll see. But it's exciting. Like, I was excited, like, man, there's really good hockey right now in the South.
Yeah, NC State, those students really love their hockey, and they've always loved their hockey. Because even, I don't know, I'm going to make up a number, but 15 years ago, actually it's longer, 18 years ago.
Whoa.
When I played men's D2 hockey.
That's right.
My first couple of years, we would go to NC State. They were obviously a D2 program too, and that house was packed. Crazy, and it smelled like alcohol. But like we played here. There's no fans that came out.
Yeah.
You go to VTech or any barn was empty. Kennesaw State and NC State, those were the barns that were full even back then at that level. So they really enjoy their hockey.
Awesome.
Yeah.
No, and I guess it brings us to our first segment of are we on board or are we on the bench with this one? But, Coach Healy was telling us about, it would be so fun a few years from now to see other SEC programs get hockey teams, just because the names are so big. The sport of hockey is so exciting that a school like NC State, a school like Georgia that has a hockey program. I know UNC is starting to get some fanfare behind it as well. When you have a hockey program like that, you have the external resources to make it successful. So do we think that in the next 10 years from now in the future, will the ACHA Men's Division I pretty much be run by these Southern teams? Are you on board with that, or are you on the bench, and explain why?
I will start, and I'm going to be on the bench on that one. I think it's just, even though the attraction of coming down south is there's just something about trying to play for a team that you kind of grew up being around, or staying home and staying local, right? Kind of being involved with as many teams as we have for as many years as I've kind of been around. It just is what it is. It's hard sometimes to pull the Northerners down south. It's, their parents are like, oh, it's kind of far and whatever else. But we also still need to see the shakeup as the CHL talent starts to come down into the NCAA ranks, and as guys naturally sort of move down. I don't know what the future in hockey will be like, but as of right now, I'm gonna say no.
Okay.
Yeah, it's hard. It's hard to bring people down south.
I'm gonna agree with Kerr. I think I'm on the bench too. I don't think in 10 years it will be. 15 years though, I will say yes.
Oh,
Okay.
Because in 15 years,
extra 5. All right.
Yeah. Because you got to think, who's won the cup the last 5 years?
Yeah.
Yep.
Southern teams.
Florida,
Yeah.
freaking Panthers.
All
All 5 years.
Tampa.
But either way, not Toronto.
Yeah. But you've had teams starting to build down the south, and how did a lot of people probably now in the Raleigh area get into hockey, right? Because the Caroline Canes were good when they were kids. And I said that name wrong, so sorry. But the Carolina Canes.
That's
You
okay.
just shortened it.
Yeah. But you know what I'm saying. So I think all those kids that are around that Florida bed and states surrounding it are going to start feeling popular, or not popular, but that's going to probably get them into wanting to play the sport a little bit more. And then so by then, in 15 years' time, they would be at that college age time and probably will want to play in one of those Southern schools. And so you never know. Also, too, FGCU finds a way to bring Northerners down all the time. So maybe they'll eventually say, all right, now enough schools in the South are in a proximity to us. We can now move up to D1 the way everyone thinks they should be a D1 club, too. So you never know. But, I think in 15 years' time, I do agree with probably it will be the South will be pretty dominant in hockey if things keep going the way they are.
Okay. All right.
So I'll be soft and just go 50-50. I'm just because what you said I agree with, but I don't think it's going to be all Southern teams.
No, I think the North still will have
thought you were good.
teams, obviously.
Yeah,
So
so
you're going to say 12 and a half years.
looking at my
50-50.
timeline.
Yeah.
But no, I think it'll be 50-50, to be honest. I like the points that you made, but depending on what happens with the Minot, the Jamestowns,
Right.
Yeah.
And all those other teams like the Adrians mixed in between, unless they go NCAA D1, I don't see them going anywhere.
Yeah.
No, I
And
agree.
is UNLV included in there? Is that
I
That's not
consider them
normal.
out west in
Yeah.
their desert, but I feel like there'll be a D1 program within the next 5 years.
yeah? So
Yeah.
I'd say 50-50. I
Yeah.
like it. It's definitely a thinker, and so a lot of good points made. But
It's interesting because it's definitely going to take some time to reach the caliber of your Minots and your Adrians.
Yeah.
I mean, Liberty's
Right.
been trying to do it for a long time as well, just because the quality of hockey players you have up there is so different, and they can stay close to home as well.
Right.
But it comes to a point where, you get thinking where they're facing something that you don't face typically in, like, okay, let's say Alabama hockey explodes in the next 5 years. They have that name and that brand that's so hard to go up against, where you get to a point, how much pull does that have in recruiting, as opposed to, will a guy in Saskatchewan want to go down to Minot, or will he want to go down and play for the Alabama Crimson Tide? So it'll be something to watch over the next few years. So it's a fun thinker. Now let's get to the Liberty side of things with this as well, because obviously NC State put out a good showing, but there's the other side of it where you'd want to see Liberty be able to convert on special teams a little bit more. You'd want to see them be able to get a few more goals in the net, at least one a little bit sooner on Saturday. Ethan Roberts was doing incredible things, but in your guys' eyes, how much of it, let's just talk the power play struggles. How much of it do you think was that goaltender is just insane, and how much of it do you think it was we need to be getting more quality chances, there's things that we can be doing better to get one in?
I think, honestly, it's a mix of two things. Goaltender playing insane. I think that's for one, which I'm sure Forth can talk about a little bit more, especially being a former player going against a goalie like that. But then also, two, I think because it's still early in the season. I like the power play a lot this year. Obviously, PP1, still that same group that really caught fire towards the end of the season and at Nationals. They did a fantastic job. Again, I know we want to see more power play goals. And then the new power play unit that is, I guess, two different looks that you see, because PP1 kind of does a good job of going from high to low consistently. That second power play unit does a high cycle, and there is consistent movement everywhere. Like, no one is standing still, no one's flat, and you have to, and I'll be honest, I'm surprised that unit only has one power play goal in the season. Like, they're gonna eventually start cooking once they start playing together. And that brings me to my second point. That's a new unit basically completely together, right? Like, so trying for them to get used to working with each other, playing together in that unit too, and in that time frame, I think that just needs to get itself worked out. But I love the way the power play looks so far this year, even though we only saw one goal this weekend. I contribute part of that to also the great play from Roberts.
Question for the coach here, Coach Forth. When you're putting up as many shots as you are, when you know you're playing a good goaltender, do coaches sometimes overemphasize shots on net versus quality shots? You know what I mean? Like in a game, or the power play units going out there, is it just get shots on net, and that could tend to lead towards maybe poor quality shots and opportunities there that you wouldn't have with less pressure? Does that kind of make sense?
Yeah, I think it depends on the situation. I don't think Liberty was in that situation. Yeah. If that makes sense, I think maybe NC State was. So I think NC State's message is like pucks on net. Like, our guys playing hot, we just need pucks to the net, maybe get a bounce. So that's where I think NC State's hoping for those kind of plays. But I don't think Liberty at that point, especially against an NC State, is going to panic and just say, like, shots. I think the coaching staff and the players are smart enough to, like, obviously we want to get pucks on net, but the right pucks, make sure we've got traffic. And if that backdoor play is there, we definitely need to look for it. But I don't think at any point you need to panic. I don't think that's really the message. And I really like the one goal they did score was the classic power play one goal. Right over to DeBrito. He rips from that spot. We talked about him a lot last year. And so I think that even though, let's say, Robert stood on his head, obviously you want your goaltender to be your best penalty killer 100% of the time. He did a good job, but I think they just need to keep doing what they're doing.
Yeah. It was great to see Conrad Kausch looking good in the net night two, especially after he kind of got trampled in week one.
Trampled?
Mufasa.
It's not really a word I thought I was going to hear on the podcast.
But staying on the topic of DeBrito, I know that, Kerr, you had told me a little bit about what his summer was like. Sam Feemster told me it was him and Michael DeBrito working out all summer, working with Coach Kerr and Liam Cox-Smith as well. And we've heard it. I know Pat Kirk-Handy had told us, watch out for Michael DeBrito this season. You can see him kind of having a Mason Smith-esque year, like what we saw last year from Mason Smith. And you heard the same thing from Sam Feemster, just saying, like, he's gotten faster, he's gotten mentally stronger, he's gotten more intelligent on the ice. Kerr, could you kind of expand on what you were telling me prior to Saturday's game?
Yeah, it's when a player has the option of going back home or staying, these guys are making the decision of, okay, I'm going to sacrifice family time and often like making money over summer and working really odd jobs. Like I think this summer he was working in a realtor who stages houses like factory, like, oh, I need 6 couches or something like that. I could be way off, but I think that's
I was watching this, like,
what he was doing.
Every team needs 6 couches. We're just blessed to have one.
Yeah, just like you never know. That house was rather large. But he showed up every day. It's early in the morning for summer college students and just put the work in. And kind of what I was telling you was he was always asking the like whys behind everything so that he could just get the most out of it. Yeah. Not like, why am I doing this? But what's the purpose? What's the point? Okay, now I can kind of understand what's happening. And over summer, the goal is get stronger, get faster, but also be able to just see the ice better. When you get faster as a hockey player, the game starts to slow down. When you do start some of the drills and use some of the exercises we do, your vision on the ice is going to improve. Your power is going to improve. And I said to Liam and I said to Mike yesterday, like, nobody will know how much work you guys put in for that perfect pass and that perfect shot to win it for your team in overtime. Mm-hmm. But they train 5 days a week from May until Saturday night to be able to pull that off. And I'm so happy for them, so proud of them, and very, very excited for both of them this year. Obviously, you see just from the stat lines, they're killing it already. And I think that's going to continue.
Yeah, no, that's awesome to hear. And like you said, none of us are going to know about the work that goes on behind the scenes. And you're seeing it pay off early for those guys. I mean, Liam Cox-Smith has been flying all around the ice, and Michael DeBrito, he's been scoring goals and doing what people have been talking about. Also, just some notes from Saturday. I mean, Hayden DeMars was an absolute workhorse. 7 shots on that night, or not 7, 11 shots on the weekend. And Sam Feemster also, he's just always up there in front of the net, working hard. He's just your gritty captain that's going to get it done for you in those moments. So, kind of agreeing with what you were saying earlier, Fourth. It's not like you have a great goaltender in there and he was making life hard for you, but this team wasn't having a ton of trouble moving the puck. It's not like we were completely shut down offensively. People were moving, they were working. It's just Ethan Roberts was shutting it down, and there's things you can take away from that, but also a lot of encouragement just to see this offense looks good. And it's defensively as well. I mean, 0 goals on Saturday. There's good stuff to be taken away from that as well. Mm-hmm. I know that we had talked about the defense being a worry for this team possibly. Any thoughts on what we saw this past weekend defensively that we liked, that we think we can keep building on?
I just like moving the puck.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
It's a lot of pressure, and there's some newer faces, but like what makes a Nick Pomerleau so effective is just he can see the ice, he can move the puck, and I think if we continue to do that, limit the second chances, right, all the classical defensive zone cliches, I think we're going to be solid, especially like just get the puck on the stick of our forward group. Like we're so fast, we're so talented, line after line of, goal scorers and guys that can move the puck well. They're doing great. Yeah, they're doing really well.
Yeah, I do like also too how they help with the transition. Like you saw multiple times, a guy would come up and it would create a 3-on-2 chance for Liberty. And as soon as kind of they could see, puck's in the corner, I gotta go back. Like instinct, which is normal for a goaltender to have that. Defenseman to have that instinct. But like they were pretty quick on like back checking to get back where they're supposed to be and let the forward be able to activate from the point. So like I love seeing that too. And then another defenseman, I think he's going to continue to get better. We talked about him last week. I like the way Mike Fisher played again, blocked multiple shots again. Looks like he is going to slot into a good solid 2-way defenseman for the Flames for this upcoming season. He just needs more games under his belt. So I like so far the way the D has played this season, it's been very good.
Yeah, no, I think D-zone, obviously, it was perfect the other night. So that's what you need from your team. Yeah. For the forwards to be back, obviously doing their role defensively, and then the D-men, obviously, clearing house what they need to. I think there was literally only one negative on the weekend, but it's also based off a positive. The fact that they only took 8 penalties on the weekend was pretty good. especially when there's games they're in control. You don't need to take those. I looked at the box score. I think Mason Smith was the only guy in the box 4 times. So, like, let's say cut that in half. Then you're a 1 penalty per period, and that's super respectable at this high level. I think if you're going to nitpick anything like that as far as defensive, I don't even know if all those were in the D zone. Right. And if those are in the offensive zone, those are just kind of unacceptable things moving forward. But again, great weekend for the guys. The shutout on the Saturday night was awesome.
And next up will be UNC for Liberty. They're going to face them on Friday night for Pucks and Polo night.
Come on now.
First off, Fourth, was this your idea?
No, it wasn't.
It wasn't?
No, I'm just really happy to see the game of golf being expanded. It's two of my favorite things being combined in one evening. It's going to be great.
Yeah, someone's got to let Bill Belichick know that UNC has a hockey team. They've got to get.
Cool.
Can you imagine?
Yeah. Well, I mean, I understand what you're saying because Nick Saban came and spoke to the Alabama hockey team.
Yeah.
Oh, did he really?
Yeah, a couple years ago.
That's pretty cool.
I didn't know what Bill Belichick would say. I don't know. That guy.
Just angry mumble of something.
Yeah.
Get out of there. Put the puck.
Yeah.
Thanks, Coach.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah, so UNC's trying to put the pieces back together after they are coming off of being swept by Kentucky 5-2 and 4-3. So it should be a fun weekend. You know, UNC, one of those up-and-coming teams. I don't imagine that they will be as powerful as NC State like we just saw. Probably not as good of goaltending. But they're also one of those programs that's slowly on the rise, trying to establish themselves in Division I.
10-year plan.
10-year plan.
Right?
Yeah.
They should be at the top.
They've got 15
go.
years, according to Pat.
Well, there's a chance. I mean, they could be, and I do know they're putting a lot of money into their program because I believe they're getting a new rink built. I don't know if it's been officially made for this season or it'll be next year. So, obviously they're trying to grow, but I mean, for Liberty, the script is to be 4-0 after this weekend, right? So that's why you had the first start of games the way you did, only one game, then a game on the road and home, then only one game again. So for LU, you just need to take care of business. Kind of practice the things as well that you were doing versus the Ice Pact and also the Wolves, and kind of implement it, because then the next week it's going to keep picking up, because that's going to be the first time you face a team that made nationals in the Delaware Blue Hens.
Yeah, I love this matchup, right? It's one game against UNC. That's a smart scheduling move,
right? Yeah.
To get the Tar Heels here. Half the campus probably hates them, so they're gonna, realistically, they're gonna show up and watch Liberty thump them, and it's gonna be great. But they don't have to watch them thump them twice. Yeah. So I think this is a great scheduling move to schedule a team that's not that talented. Okay, forgive me for saying that. But you know what I mean. I think it's gonna be another 7-2 trouncing. Get the job done, and like you said, be 4-0 at the end of the weekend. But
it's a great weekend for Liberty athletics. You have UNC coming to town, and you have JMU on Saturday.
Oh yeah, some big games for
hopefully
a flame.
I don't want to talk about.
Yeah,
we're not
this
really
is a hockey podcast.
Well, let's just say I think that the hockey team will be more successful than our football team this weekend. So fans should. I just gotta be honest on you. So yes, fans should show up to the Lehigh Center for that UNC game. But it's fun to look at because it's really just a gradual warm up. You have UNC this weekend. You have Delaware. Then you got Utah. I'm really excited for the Utah series. That's going to be a good one. Agreed. And then you got Adrian. So you're working up to it. And I like it. It's a slow warm up, and hopefully by the time that Adrian series rolls around, everyone's dialed. They're ready to go, and it'll be a ton of fun to watch.
And if you're able to have success on the road versus Adrian, I know Coach Force thinks otherwise from the start of the year. He might change his tune in 4 weeks. Hopefully.
I hope
so. Hopefully, guys. You got to make him change his tune.
I would love to be proved wrong.
That's right. But I mean, it's a good rev up, and so like you said, pucks and polos. Make sure people are wearing their Masters attire on Friday.
Fourth, what are you gonna wear?
Probably what I'm wearing right now.
Some
maybe
JP Fourth golf.
I will throw that usual polo on.
Yeah, there you go.
Bring your merch, hop on the Zamboni, and throw it out to the crowd.
Yeah.
That's how you can build a brand here.
Yes.
Wow.
J4th Golf on YouTube. There will be a promo video on the Jumbotron. Thank you to the marketing team.
Come on.
No way, really?
Nice.
Oh, good.
That's awesome.
Oh, that is awesome.
Nick Pomerleau, featured Nick Pomerleau, so look for him.
Pomerleau. Okay. So
Do you have both Pomerleaus out there? You gotta get them both on the course now.
Yeah, definitely.
That's a video. Yeah.
That's the next video.
That's right.
Yeah.
Okay, gotcha. Well, it's going to be a fun Friday night. Make sure you come out to the Lehigh Center. We shift our focus now to the men's Division II team who earned their first win of the season on Saturday night.
That's right.
You really can't ask
Garland,
for a more
congrats.
thrilling, nerve-wracking, probably frustrating first victory as a head coach if you are Christian Garland. But they pulled it off in shootout fashion. Jared Matley, Anthony Emmy score shootout goals for Liberty, and they get them their first dub. It was a stressful one, though. I'm not going to lie, Pat.
Yeah, it very was. I honestly, probably a little frustrating as a person that's if you're a member of that team, because you had Tech in both games, and you let one slip away and the other one you let them force you to the shootout. So but that also shows just the youth of this group, right? And when I talk about that, in the first game they were up by 1 with 2 minutes to go. Tech finds a way to tie it, and then they score the game winner with 15 seconds left. So you don't want that in game 2. You're up by 2 with 2.5 to go. You let them get 1, and then just under a minute they get the tying goal. So I'm sure that's very frustrating. But that just shows, again, the youth of this team. When you bring in 17 new players, you're going to have some growing pains. And Virginia Tech, obviously, they've been a good program, especially the last couple seasons, being 5th in the Southeast. They're looking to get back to nationals too. So obviously, I know they prided themselves in that and splitting with Liberty. But for Liberty, you got to be happy at least you got 1.
It's cool to see, again, kind of just the hockey in the South, having Virginia Tech be a solid team again.
Yeah.
When I first was here, Liberty Tech was always a big one, and then we just kind of took a step up, and I don't know if they took a step back, but bringing them back in, I like it. I like that kind of just local rivalry, so to speak. When I think of so far in our men's 2 teams season, with so many new guys, they're going to need their big guys to be big guys all the time, right? Jared Matley, in particular, getting that shootout goal was a beautiful one to win it for us. Emmy having one as well, but that's kind of just what they need. Those big guys are going to have to be big guys all the time. They're just going to kind of have to step up as the new guys, the young guys, are acclimating to the level of play that we're at.
And it's a different kind of confidence, honestly, that you're seeing from Jared Matley right now. Final season playing hockey, he really has to put the team on his back this year. He's flying around, he's making plays, he's getting so many shots on net. I'm sure that for the guys that have been there, again, there's growing pains. They know it, they're aware of it, but it's nice to see those guys who have been there just playing free, playing with confidence, and really helping this group.
Yeah, I mean, that one they got the shootout win, that feels like a loss. Obviously, maybe not, but that's a concerning trend to give up 2 leads 2 games in a row, unfortunately. I think watching that second game, 3 of those 4 goals that were scored against them, or at least 5 of the 5, 3 of them were off of face-off play. One was a power play, missed assignment.
That's right. Yeah.
And then 2 or 3 other ones were just right off a draw, missed assignment. So again, it's not like you're getting thumped, but those are obviously important details that the coaching staff obviously are working on. I know they weren't happy with their power play, special teams this weekend overall.
Right.
But yeah, I mean, I know you can't really judge shots all the time, but 55 shots against and 46 shots. Unless you were talking about what you said about, okay, maybe they're just shooting from everywhere.
Yeah.
But that tells me you're kind of getting thumped. So there's some other things going on that you need to work on. I know we talked about it on the first pod. They give them 3 weekends, but guys, I think they start the season off 1-11, and they don't get their first next win until VTech again here or wherever they play in October. I think the next road trips are going to be a grind.
You're hitting the panic button.
Yeah. Official panic button.
I hit it for him.
Yeah, on the bench, on the board, I'm panicking. These guys need to do something and do it soon.
Oh man. I mean, it's true. I was watching the recap from Saturday, and you're right. I mean, 3 goals in that game just right off the face-off. Boom, boom. All of a sudden, hey, you're sitting pretty in that game. It feels like you're going to get your first win to panic mode. Same situation as the night before. And Yeah, I mean the night before even, you don't even want to be tied with under a minute to go. It was hard to see VTech tie it up with that much time left. But then 30 seconds to go, which is defensive breakdown, puts your goaltender in a terrible situation, and before you know it, you're going home with a loss. So there's a lot of things I think defensively that need to be. It's hard to say like cleaned up. I just think it need to be figured out.
Well, and continue to be taught and learned. Again, I'm not hitting the panic button. I'm taking my hand off.
Okay.
All right.
It sounded like you were hitting the panic button.
Oh yeah, but I mean,
so I hit it for him prematurely.
Yeah, I'm not panicking. You're panicking. I think they're just so young.
Yeah.
Right, and like new system, new players, like they will figure it out.
I think this week will be very important we're not playing this week.
Yep.
We can slow things down and really, really hammer out and grind through those details. Yeah, really make sure whether it's video or one-on-ones with the coaches or something of here's what we saw on tape, here's the corrections that we need to make. So I think this is an extremely important week of practice throughout for the remainder of their season. Because when they head down to Florida next weekend on the 26th, 7th, and 28th, they'll play Tampa. They have to clean those little things up because Florida Gulf and Tampa will make them pay on those.
Right.
How important is this week? We'll find out how well of a job they do.
Yeah, and we do need to give our praise in some places. Glenn Farmer, great weekend for him. 3 goals, 1 assist. The North Carolina native, we're seeing North Carolina.
There you go. Come on now.
Yes,
guys.
Southern hockey.
Yeah. Game 2, he had a sharp angle shot that somehow went in, and then he had a sweet wraparound that went 5-hole and really helped Liberty in that one in their efforts to come away with a shootout win. So, you have your pieces, like the guys are saying. You keep building. This week is going to be crucial, and just getting some stuff together because, guys, it's a tough road trip coming up for them. Going down to Florida, FGCU, we know that is always a really, really hard game. And they're also going to play Tampa, too, who, Pat, can you tell us a little bit more about that program? I know they recently made the transition from AAU D1 to ACHA D2.
They were an ACHA D3 team. Rhett McGibbon probably played them a few times, I know, back during his tenure. But, they were always good at ACHA D3, made multiple Final Four trips when they went to Nationals. Then they switched over to AAU D1, former now AAU D1 national champs. And now they're coming back to the ACHA, and they're looking to be a D1 program eventually, hopefully, and I think in their scope in the next 5 years. But they know it's going to take a process before they can become one. So, for them, this is going to be probably not an easy game either, right? Like, I'm sure even when they scheduled High Point, they were former AAU D2 team, now ACHA D2 team. We saw exactly that there's some good quality hockey in AAU, right? Because basically that ACHA D2 hockey team was from High Point, was in AAU, and now we're going to see a D1 team now come over from AAU too. So these are going to be some tough games for the Flames, but Fourth and Kerr said, the next 6 practices are going to be kind of crucial for this team and also vital for the season, because even if you don't come away with wins in these, it's more so hopefully you got something at least to be happy about in the experience when you go down to Florida. Yeah,
definitely. If taking away from all of what we just said, they got to stay positive.
Yeah, that was a great breakdown, Pat. That was really good.
Yeah,
that a boy for the AAU and the ACHA. Yeah. I wonder, I think back, speaking D2, for years until they finally won in 2018, NYU at the D2 ACHA level was crushing it. They make the D1 jump and they're gone. I haven't heard of them ever since.
Which team was that?
Yeah, exactly. It'll be interesting for Tampa now as they're kind of making the jump there. Where do they rank? How do they stay at it, so to speak? Because Mary's done it, but some teams they make that D2, D1 jump or kind of shift over a different league, and that ain't it. They lose that fire.
Yeah, but, it'll be tougher for them too, because in ACHA D1, there's not a ton of teams close to them in proximity, right?
Yeah.
That would make
Alabama.
That's what I was thinking. Alabama, and then maybe is it UNC and NC State?
Yeah, I was going to say the North Carolina schools.
So it'd be a big trek for them to be able to find.
I can see Kirk making a trip down to Tampa though. We'll come to you in January.
That's right.
Yeah, so men's D2 going to be making that trip next weekend. Our women's D2 team just came back from that trip. They were pretty successful there.
Come on.
Let's talk about it.
But before we talk about it, though, guys, road trip season is starting to kind of kick in. Florida, I'm sure no one's really complaining about that road trip. It's kind of a long one, but once you see that beautiful ocean, it kind of just washes away. But there are some pretty bad ones as the year goes on. You know, I know St. Louis, the women's Division I team, probably never wants to go back to St. Louis.
Yeah, too bad. They're going back.
It's like Groundhog Day.
Yeah.
So let's just do a little quick fill in the blank. The most brutal road trip in the ACHA is just for Liberty. What's the most brutal one?
I think some people would say coming to Liberty.
Yeah.
Because of the proximity. I know in the past, a tough one for the Flames was going to Rhode Island. That always was a tough one. Long bus ride. Basically, you're on the bus all day, and you leave early in the morning. I think it's dark out still. When you get to the hotel, it's dark out. So that I remember hearing the guys always say, like, yeah, that trip is tough. And they would always usually leave a day before. So then that way they could practice the morning before the game and things of that nature. So, yeah, I'm going to stick with that one because, yeah, when it gets to 12-plus hours on the bus, it becomes long.
Yeah, why not?
Why not?
Oh, yeah.
Such a brutal road trip.
Sure. Yeah, you know.
I've only done
about
it once, and we won nationals. And it was still miserable. There's no point in the season where there couldn't be snow on the ground, first of all. Yeah. All they have is a train track and a Sonic, and Joseph works there. Yeah. We'll keep that story.
Yeah, that's a Rock the Rink After Dark story.
Yeah. But, yeah, mine not for me. You basically, I mean, you could bus it there, but you wouldn't. And you have to take a plane. And, like, people are like, oh, we're flying. Like, no, it's a long day. And I don't know how many times they've been in the air to the Minot airport and then had to be rerouted back. Stay another night in Denver or Minnesota. Like, it's ridiculously tough.
Well, what'd you guys do? Do you drive down to, like, Charlotte or something? Or do you go Lynchburg, Charlotte?
I think, they drive to either Charlotte or Raleigh. Yeah. Fly to Minnesota, and then wait usually pretty a decent layover, and then fly into Minot.
Okay.
Yeah. So it's tough. Wow. Yeah, it's just a long grind.
We're talking about St. Louis. I was just thinking about it this morning, Pat. That one barbecue place, like, we're going this year. right off of Chesterfield Airport Road there.
What's it called?
I don't remember. They have a massive pig outside.
We went by it one time and it was closed, and we were like, "What?"
Well, and that's the other thing. Like,
I'm like Googling it right now, trying to figure it out.
Like in Minot, they had decent food, like a couple local joints that were pretty good, and like they hosted us well. So thanks to Minot for that. But like you're right, like St. Louis, at least they have great food
everywhere.
Like the barbecue there.
The original Pancake House is unbelievable.
Yeah, I mean, and like memories there, national championships. Yeah. What happened to the Cheesecake Factory? That's the biggest thing.
Please don't bring that.
Like, I'm sorry to trigger you. Little T.
Yeah.
But I don't understand. Anyways,
the whole mall.
It's St. Louis for me. It's the worst.
Yeah.
Never going back.
Yeah. As far as like travel, I think those North Dakota teams are just tough to get to.
Right.
But as far as like where my least favorite road trip, Chicago. Like by far, Chicago. Anywhere in and around Chicago is absolute trash for a road trip. I've been there so many times for like conferences and whatever else, and it's just like there's no place to park. It's so hard to find just like a restaurant or whatever else. Yeah, it's just not it for me. The men did a showcase there, and I was like, no, never again. Not going. I can't do it.
Rhode Island. One of my favorite road trips that I ever took coaching women's D1 was in Rhode Island. I think it was one of my early years with Paul Bloomfield, and in those days we did a lot of like sightseeing. So he did a good job of keeping the girls engaged and just being able to like, hey, here's an opportunity to see part of the country. And so like obviously like in Rhode Island, can't think of the town. It's just one of the main places, but like you got the ocean right there and you have the marble houses. Like the houses are made of like we did tours and it was absolutely one of the most fascinating things I've ever seen. Like Vanderbilt money. Yeah. Like these.
It's in like Newport, right?
Yeah. Thank you. Yeah, it's just beautiful to see. So I think that's on a bucket list of something to see. And then, I mean, Mass. Like, that's not a great road trip, but we did the Freedom Trail tour also. So, like, and then Quincy Market, it's like once you do it 2 or 3 times, it's a little bit, a lot, but yeah.
That's nice.
Sorry.
Hey, Kerr, I went to Chicago for the first time after Nationals this past year.
Yes.
Up there. I thought it was a really pleasant place.
Well,
but I guess
don't go there for a road trip because you will hate it. I'm so sorry. I'm just trying to find the name of this restaurant. It might be.
You guys, Kerr's like he's looking at Google Maps, like inside restaurant views.
It might be Annie Gunn's.
Yeah.
But like, I'm so confused. I don't think so.
Well, yeah.
Yeah. I almost feel like I see the restaurant he's talking about too, because you pass it as we're trying to go to the rink.
Yes.
And yeah,
sorry. I'm just
drop me off.
I'm
here,
just
Coach.
really caught up on this. But yeah, the last time the men went, our hotel rooms were on the like 30th floor. Our conference room was on like the 14th floor. You have to even though we bought 40 rooms, you have to pay to use their parking garage. So it's like you go get food and then you can't leave your car just like in the valet area.
Yeah.
It always has to be locked because, Chicago, the doorman told me that. And yeah, you have to it's just awful.
Yeah, but they have the bean.
Yeah.
They have the bean.
I'm over it.
They have the bean.
That's worth it.
I'll bench that one.
All right.
Bench it hard.
I would rather go on a road trip to Minot because everything's just right there and the logistics are easier than Chicago.
Yeah, and I feel like once you go to Minot, this might just be me, but like you show up and it's just like the environment matches like the kind of hockey game you're gonna get. It's like freezing, it's bitter. It's like I'm here for an
Business
intense
trip.
hockey game.
Yeah.
It's all business. It's like pulling up for a football game when you're going to like freezing cold Lambeau Field for a playoff game in January. Same kind of vibe.
All right.
Oh yeah. You know what you're getting.
Yeah. That's what it reminds me of. So.
Okay.
Anyway, let's move on to our women's Division II team. They had an unreal weekend down south. They beat Tampa 7-1, 11-1 trampoline, we're using that again, of South Carolina. Cora Williams, man, Hattie's in both games.
That's right.
6 goals on the
looks
weekend.
good on her.
It looked great. So I know fourth last weekend, there was a lot of good, obviously, but there's also, you're telling us there's some details we want to refine. Obviously, when you're playing teams that aren't necessarily at our caliber, we know the results are going to end up like this. You still need to find ways to improve. Did you see some of those improvements this past weekend?
So I'm going to be honest, guys. I was benched for this weekend. I did not make the trip, and maybe that's why they were so successful. This morning at practice,
I was wondering how that was going to get brought up.
Yeah, this morning at practice, Cora and Coach Leone kind of politely mentioned that they're still talking. I may not be welcome on the next road trip because she's never scored a hat trick when I've coached her.
Yeah.
And even last weekend, I said, "Hey, did you get 2 or did you get 3?" And she said, "Oh, only 2. I've never scored a hat trick before." So like she kind of talked that into fruition. But yeah, you're right. As far as that goes, like that's what we need from her.
Yeah.
Right. Every game. Obviously, we don't need 3 every game, but like she's a goal scorer. She's an offensive dynamo, so to speak. And I think she's absolutely sick. What a stud. But even looking at the other people, Pim, who's a freshman, has 4 assists. I think she even maybe got on the board for 1. And even Honeycutt, I don't want to say I'm surprised by this, but I think she's somebody who's going to be a bit of a sleeper as far as not offensively dynamic as a Williams, who's like, she doesn't maybe like, isn't the same eye test, with Williams, she can kind of fly and she rips the puck hard, but I think Honeycutt got a couple goals like out front of the net, going to the right areas and doing things like that. But I think defensively, just got to keep going, right? 7-1, 11-1, it's obviously very respectable. Mm-hmm. I think the one against South Carolina, we were like, I don't want to say 0 for 1 on the PK, but they scored on the power play. So obviously some tweaking there. But yeah, I mean, it's a great weekend. Right, the girls go to Florida, have a day on Saturday with the day off, go to the beach, play a couple hockey games, and come back. So I think it's a very good start to the year for our team. And then, like this morning, it was all positive, and they kind of joked like, "I know we've all seen each other for the last 5 days in a row, but any prayer requests?" But like they're having a good time.
Yeah.
I think this weekend was set up by a phenomenal week of practices. I was able to watch a bit. First thing is like you guys were doing 5-on-5, and you still had both benches like pretty full. The roster size, the depth you have this year, not only like talented players, but just like overall size is allowing you to do things in practice that like in other years you weren't able to do. Next line goes out and there's not a huge drop off. Like you have talented players all over. Watching that drill we were talking about before recording of you had the 2-on-2 with the shot coming from the point, and then that led down to a 2-on-1. I loved seeing I'm just going to call it the skill and the IQ. So Pim specifically just coming down on the 2-on-1 and just like an easy shot, far pad for, a juicy rebound for whoever she was going with. I think you guys have coached this team up so well. Tons of depth, tons of talent, and it's going to show. Like I think we're going to see a lot of scores like this against a lot of teams. That's my prediction for the year.
Yeah, sorry, I'm going to jump in again. I'm just talking about your numbers thing. Even last week and then this weekend, we had like 4 to 6 girls that were out, whether it's injury or classes that didn't make the trip. But even with our depth currently, we still have talented players that are not on this that aren't playing. Like Kate Walhoff, she hasn't played yet.
That's a big one.
Yeah. I mean, one of the best D in the country.
Yeah, easily.
Right, and even looking like seeing Patisi get some assists there. But all the depth there. But like we're not even full health, so very excited for when we are healthy.
Yeah, so I didn't know that, so like I think that's good. Yeah, like you said, Kate Walhoff, one of the best two-way defensemen in the country, should have been an All-American last year. Let's be honest, ACHA, get it together. But like Natter, who I feel like more is a stay-at-home D, great to see her offensive game picked up this past weekend and over in the weekend before, right? Like knowing that, okay, hey, I'm just going to provide some big scoring from the point in the back end, and like she obviously now slotting into an even stronger two-way defenseman for the team. Like you said, Patisse, newcomer. I know you talked a lot about her like coming in, how she was going to be a really good piece for you guys, and so she got 3 apples too. But then your big names also then kind of doing what they're supposed to do, progress and become those girls, right? Like everyone's going to see, and like kind of slowly putting the league on notice, like, hey, if we're the same team now, roster size and body wise in March, people need to watch out.
Yeah, and
I believe that clearly.
Yeah, and I'm excited to play Delaware. They should. I don't think they're going to be as good as they were last year because they had a couple talented girls that maybe aren't back. But I think depth-wise, they're going to be a better program maybe than these last 4 games that we've played.
And in rivalry too, right?
Yes.
So that's going to make it tough.
Yeah, I mean, if you're going to go to Delaware, you want to come away with 2 wins. Otherwise, why the heck are you even there?
Yeah.
But I think just progressively getting into the season, we're in a good spot, and I would agree. I think offensively, very happy with what we're seeing so far.
Yeah. Does that bring like an energy or tone change whatsoever, knowing that, hey, we're going to face probably our most considerable challenge of the year so far, and a pretty comparable opponent next?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, I don't imagine we hold off at all on the offensive side of the puck, and I think maybe next game it's like, all right, just to continue to reminder the neutral zone, angling, and also defensive zone responsibility. Yeah. Because obviously we haven't had a ton of tests against those better schools, right? So I think as a coach, I always think it's hard for me not to just think about March. Obviously I can't always, but like we are working right now to be the best that we can be come March, right? So like league playoffs and then nationals, because realistically that's all that's going to matter in the banners or not in the banners in the end. So
I love it. I love it. It gets me fired up. And then again, speaking hockey in the South, Ryan Finch got to play in his hometown on Friday night, and then Natter got to go down to Florida. Hopefully they pack it out.
Emma Bardwell, also a freshman on our team.
Oh, no way.
Yeah,
awesome.
She was very excited to be home. She had family and friends. It was only 30 minutes from her house. So.
Dang,
awesome.
Cool.
Yeah. There's like something went off in my head. I remember, I don't know if it was a practice, but Natter's mom and Rena were talking, met her. She's like, oh, we're from Florida. And I was like, wait, I think she's from Florida. And oh, yeah.
Yeah. I remember Coach Leon saying that if she could travel to one of her athletes' hometowns, it would be Natter's.
Oh,
That wish.
all right.
He is a big fan of Disney.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true.
She went on
Yeah.
her vacation this summer. Did she get to go to Disney World?
Yes.
this summer?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes. How many times? Less than 10, more than 5? I don't know.
Yeah.
She loves Disney.
Good. Awesome. Well, women's do have the week off then. They're heading up to Delaware. Our only team playing hockey this weekend is our men's Division I team versus UNC. Make sure you come for pucks and polos at night. Say hi to Justin Forth while you're at it. Ask him how you can improve your golf game. He'll probably have some answers for you. But guys, until next time, thanks for joining the Rock the Rink podcast.
Let me in.